Well, how about that, Rice fans? That was certainly fun. The Rice Owls taking down the UConn Huskies right behind us in double overtime this past week. We'll break it down here in just a second with Dunlevie family head football coach Scott Abell. We've also got one of the stars of the game, Quinton Jackson, and OC and O-line coach Vince Munch. When you have a game like that, you're wired. I think I might have asked you about this in another game. How long does it take for you to come down? Scott Abell, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, man, that's a great question, and I don't know if there's a really great answer. It depends on the week. It was probably, I don't know, it was probably 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, before I probably was really able to shut it off. You know, this week was a little different because, you know, it's a quick turnaround to get ready for Memphis. So the brain really went to that. You didn't really have much time to set back and reflect. And at the same time, you know, I guaranteed our team a couple things pregame that I would be exhausted fighting for them, you know, for our program come Saturday afternoon. I was going to be exhausted. I'd be their number one cheerleader. I'd be their number one energy guy, right? I would be that person. And I love doing that. But I was exhausted at the end. I didn't hide from that, and so about 1 o'clock I dozed off, and it took me a little while to unwind, and most of the time does, no matter win, lose, or draw. You know, but that kind of game, I mean, what a special night for us. It's a great momentum win for us, a great complete game for the program in all phases, and we've been looking for that. You know, and we've played some really good football at times this year, and we've had some moments where we didn't play as well as we could have. But seeing it all come together like that is incredibly satisfying for your team, and I'm proud of them. I'm, you know, coming off of UTSA into a bye week is not easy, right? There's so much negative chatter out there that I know our players listen and hear and read, and for us to be mentally tough. To not let that really get into our heads and not let it become part of the story, that is what I'm proud of. That we showed exactly who we were and what we're capable of, and I'm incredibly proud of it.
Yeah, I can attest to Coach when he joined Jason Metcalf, sideline reporter after the game, next to no voice, and then I saw the social media post that our folks behind the scenes put together, and raspy, but he's got the voice back now.
I do. Quick turnaround.
That helps.
It's mid-season shape. My voice is in mid-season shape.
Yeah, you got the hot tea and the honey and whatnot. How about the game? We're talking with Quinton Jackson, so might as well get to that. So many key players in the game, but what Quinton did and what you said after the game, and we had him, Jason got him right after he got it. He respected the space, but still got him and what you said about Quinton was, I don't know if, fill in the blank for me, I don't know if I've met a guy that's had a performance quite like that. Just what did that game mean, and to see him, the way he did it, perform in such a big way?
Well, you know, I will start off by, every time I listen to Q-Jack talk, whether it's at a press conference, a post-game, pre-game, he's the most humble human being, right? He always begins by giving praise to Jesus Christ, his Lord and Savior, and you know, I love that, and I'm honored that I'm a part of that. And so to see him up there in front after having that kind of performance, once again, giving all the glory to God and his teammates, and man, you just want to go to bat with that guy. You want to go to war with that guy. You want to take the field each and every week with that guy. And so I'm not surprised that he had the game he had. I think he's been really close a couple of times. I think everyone knows how I feel about him and what his abilities are. And, you know, what I saw Saturday, even now that I've watched film and I've evaluated, is eerily similar live and on film. I think he and his teammates really, maybe for the first complete game, completely just understood the concepts, understood the scheme, and played at full speed. That's really hard in learning a new offense, and watching Q-Jack, you know, hit those gaps, knowing exactly, you know, what his role was in the scheme, you know, his teammates around him, the offensive line, you know, Chase making great decisions play after play throughout the game, you know, other players making big plays, Aaron Turner, seeing it all come together. It's very, very gratifying. I'm excited for our offense, and really seeing them get excited was really all the reward I need.
Yeah, more on Q Jack in a second when he joins us, but one tidbit that Chuck gave us, I say the sports information directors coach always make us sound smarter than we are. The first in team history and just the 11th in college football since 1996 to have a rushing and a receiving touchdown of 70 yards or more, proving his versatility. He's a guy that can do a lot for you.
Well, he is. And in the bye week gave us the opportunity to showcase some of that, right? We needed to get to that bye week to help the offense grow some, and getting there, having that opportunity, even though he was banged up going into the bye week, but getting Q Jack and Aaron Turner, those guys, more reps and some different looks, right? You saw us line up in some two back, right? You saw us get more creative with the offense, and we wanted to do that for guys like Q Jack and Aaron and Chase, and so. What a phenomenal stat, right? There's a lot of good college football players in the history of the NCAA, and so for him to be mentioned up there with some of the best, that's great for himself and his teammates.
Speaking of Chase, that was next on the old official notepad here. Career high game throwing for him. I like it, and some of it's due to his nature at the position, getting more reps, but fourth time this season he's had a career passing yards, and season past he seemed to really benefit from the rest and not wanting to give away anything schematically. He just almost looked like a different quarterback at times with how aggressive and able to hit different passes.
Well, I would agree. I think, the bye week, the rest, his health, it really showed up, Saturday against UConn, because, now he had some time to reflect, as we did, about what that first part of the year looked like for him. How could we help him grow once he's healthy? And now we can build on things that really are fit around Chase now that we've got live game experience and we had the time to grow. So, it's none of it's by accident. It's what you hope coming out of the bye week. I didn't know last week sitting at this moment that we were able to grow because of the injuries, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that Chase and Q-Jack didn't practice at all the actual bye week. They got back into reps game week, right? So, you just don't know, were we able to absorb and to grow? The fact that we did is such a huge credit to two of them and to their coaches, right? Because most of their growth happened on film.
Mm-hmm. On the defensive side, Tony Anianwu led you at the career high 9 tackles. More on his story and what he's meant. You've had some guys, bumps and bruises, hopefully get some guys back on the D-line, but speak to Tony's game, and sometimes it's a compliment to him. I haven't told him this, but I'll look because he'll make a play over to the sideline. Well, that's a linebacker. But I said, no, that's 26. He makes plays where defensive linemen really shouldn't make plays. Speak to Tony and just what leads to that.
Well, it's so funny because as you're describing Tony, and I'm thinking he's like a Q-Jack of the defense. He's very versatile, right? You can see Coach K and company. They've lined him up as a drop backer at times, right? They've lined him up as defensive end. He's been interior at times. He's incredibly versatile, and he's able to do that because he's explosive, he's strong, and he's athletic. Man, what a great campaign he's putting together right now in his senior year with us. And, that's important. As we now get into the back half of this, we're going to see some really talented programs and some offenses. And to have a guy like that, now that you're adding to a talented group already, I think it's been great growth for the defense. How they're utilizing him is really important, and he's given us a really big spark in the middle section of this campaign.
How about the way the other members of the defense played? You give up the one big touchdown, and then just after that, you really made them work to march down the field. What was big in adjusting and keeping them in front of you? Fagnano still had a great game, but just what did you do better?
Well, we had a moment in time, right? In that second quarter, we had a moment in time where, we weren't very disciplined, right? We let some things get away from us on that side of the football, and we lost a little focus. And that led to a couple easy scores right before half. Coach K did a phenomenal job of regrouping, resetting, right, and making the few adjustments we needed to make. And most of those adjustments, they were simple in nature. It was really, hey, how about we read our keys? Right? How about we stay disciplined in the schematics of this and not try to make every play? Do your job. And I hear Coach K talk about that all the time. Hey, don't try to do too much. Do what you're being asked to do inside the scheme. Second half, we did that. Our players did that. They executed at a high level. We bent at times but didn't break. And part of that was more field position, right? You know, from the get-go, we were kind of playing behind the 8 ball in the second half on field position and trying to flip the field at times. You know, we put the long scoring drive together and had the opportunity to maybe keep the field flipped in. And, you know, I think our defense did a great job in a couple of circumstances, right? Man, holding them to 3 and out at the 50, you know, and that's big in a game like that.
Mm-hmm. So let's go into talking a little bit about Memphis. Come up Halloween night, first off the field, so to speak. More on Coach Silverfield's team in a bit. Little Scott Abell, even Dad, Coach Abell. Any costumes that you would wear on Halloween? Did you have a go-to outside? You can't say football coach or
no,
because it's always during football season. But
yeah, you know, I can say no.
Okay.
Like I'm not creative when it comes to that.
Same, Coach.
I leave it to my wife, and our house is, you know, she has it decorated for Halloween, right? She's got her creatures outside in the front yard, and she loves you know, having the trick or treating ready. And this year, she'll be at the stadium, right?
Yeah.
But she'll leave candy out on our front stoop for whoever comes by our house, and you know, she loves seeing the neighborhood kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she really does. And in the past, I've worked really hard to try to get there for the tail end of some of that with her. I hadn't always been able to do that because of Halloween and football season. So I don't have a go-to, but I love the Halloween candy.
I was going to ask you, when everybody does it, right? When you're taking the kiddos' candy or just kind of sneaking, you kind of have a favorite candy or tin. You know,
it's always easy for me because I love the candy corn. Comes out Halloween.
Really?
I love the pumpkins, right?
Okay.
The bigger version of the candy corn, 'cause that's all it is. So as my kids got those, they thought they were disgusting. So it worked out great for me raising kids that didn't like candy corn, and I liked all facets of it. So when Halloween comes around, my wife does a really nice job of keeping me stocked with really candy corn, the pumpkins, the whole 9 yards. You know, I'm a sweet tooth guy. Unfortunately, my dentist has gotten a lot of work over the years because of me. And so, you know, when Easter comes around, I'm a jelly bean guy.
There you go.
So I don't hide from that. I brush my teeth a lot trying to help out the process. But, you know, I mean, the dentist, somebody's got to keep him in business, right? That's the way I see it.
The hard-hitting questions here on the Rice
That's right.
Unfiltered podcast.
We want you to get to know Coach Abell this year.
On the field, Coach Silverfield brings a team. They sure bounce back after that loss against at UAB, a team that averages over 5 yards per carry, but just really all around. They've got playmakers both sides of the ball. And the initial, I know it's early, film watches, what have you seen that stands out on film?
Well, they're a complete football team. That's what really jumps off at me. I mean, complete. And I think, you know, they really did a really nice job in the portal defensively and collectively through the program. But defensively, man, you can just tell they made a conscious effort. And though I wasn't here last year, I've watched a ton of film. They really, man, upgraded up front defensively. I think they're stout, they're big, right? They're athletic, and you know, offensively they're very balanced, right? They're one of the best running teams in the country, you know. And at the same time, right, they have the athletes and the ability to really get creative with their passing game. And to make that a focus point when they want to. So the challenge is real, but you know that's what you get when you get a nationally ranked program, and that's what you want for your team. You want your program to have that opportunity to challenge themselves on a national stage, and Memphis is giving us that, right? And it is the exact challenge you would think it is. They're a complete football team. They're confident, and they're coached incredibly well. He's done a phenomenal job with that program. You know, when you look across Memphis football the last decade and them in the American, there's no one better. And that's a credit to himself, his staff, and how he's built that program.
We talked glowingly about Q-Jack. He's coming up later on in the podcast. But Vince Munch, your OC and O-line coach, speak to that relationship, a little bit about him we might not know, and just how vital he is. We know you, of course, do a lot with the offense, but he does a lot of implementing the system and building the big guys up front, too.
Yeah, he does. So, you know, Coach Munch has been a part of the journey with me now for over go. Just, hey, listen, we are in a place of work. Work happens here in this weight room. But he's been a part of this journey for over a decade now. I hired him when he was a young coach and done a couple different things for me throughout his career. From coaching on the offensive side with our offensive line and tight ends at times to our coach D-line for me years ago, and now in his role as offensive coordinator. And can't do it without him. When you're the head coach and you're the play caller, you must have someone that is your right-hand man that you trust, that understands schematically everything like you understand it, and more importantly, sees the game and thinks like you. And that's tough. The last part is really tough. And he would tell you that's probably the biggest challenge, like trying to think like me. As he, runs offensive meetings, whether they're with the offensive unit or the staff, because I can't be in all places at once. And so that's what's asked of him, to think like me at times. And I know how hard that is. It's really unfair, to be honest.
Yeah.
But man, what a blessing he's been for me. Probably, the things that, he's a great football coach. He's a football coach. Man, he loves it. And his guys love playing for him. You can see that. And, grew up a son of a coach. And so, he was kind of my surrogate when Porter left and went and played college football. Vince was a very young coach. And when you raise a football player and who became a football coach, that young man's probably around you a lot. Porter spent a lot of time in my truck, in my car, going back and forth to weight rooms, to practice, spent a lot of time with me. And so when Porter went off to college, man, I was looking around. I'm like, I need somebody to hang out with. I need somebody to play golf with. And so, Vince had just come on my staff, and he was a very young coach and pretty good golfer. And so we played a lot of golf that first summer together. I don't know if I really gave him much choices, to be honest, but I did pay for it, right? So I paid for a lot of golf, and then really taught him how to play racquetball. So he has become the coach on staff that will challenge me. Right?
Okay.
I talk about my love for sports, my competitive drive. He's the coach on staff that does want to challenge me. Like, whether
I noticed you didn't say beat you, or will he get one from you every now and
listen,
then?
I will just let you ask him that. I think that's only fair.
The hard-hitting question.
I want him to have to speak to that, okay? But he's the coach that he'll challenge. If he sees opportunity to challenge me, whether it's on the golf course, the racquetball course, maybe a basketball game here or there, he loves that, right? So he grew up a gym rat as well, and so that would be the things that I would want you to know about him. But what a great person, great human being, and Rice Nation is grateful that he's here with us.
Hey, Coach, thanks again for the time. Let's keep it going. Rice and Memphis, 25th in the nation, as Boss mentioned. We want you out here at the game right behind us, supporting the Owls, 713-348 Owls. It'll be on ESPN2, and, of course, we'll have the audio call, Nate and me, but want you out here. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Right, come on out. We need a great crowd on Halloween. No better place to be than here, Rice Stadium, Halloween night.
Stay tuned. More coming up on Rice Unfiltered. Stay with us. Welcome back on Rice Unfiltered. I am voice of your Rice Owls, J.P. Heath. I neglected to mention it in the opening segment. So excited with Coach Abell, but if you could give us a like, share on the Rice Athletics YouTube channel and on Apple and or Spotify, and tell a Rice friend or 10. I'm sure we'll be getting lots of extra clicks over in North Crowley there in Fort Worth with Quinton Jackson, right?
Hopefully, man. But thanks for having me, JP. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having us, I should say. Thanks for coming on. Take us through the winning play. I don't know how much you've thought about it since then or seen the clips, but just game-winning touchdown in double overtime for the uninitiated. Somehow the one person out there didn't know, but just what was going through your mind, and how it just funneled back here in the corner behind us. It seemed like everybody's dogpiling you.
Yeah, it was a RPO call, so pretty much it's a run pass option, and then so we were reading the DN. So he kind of squeezed out with the flat route that we had going on, and then when you're running down the hole, you kind of can tell what Chase is going to do, if he's going to pull it, if he's going to give it. So I seen the DN kind of go wide, so I kind of knew I was kind of getting the ball. And after that, it just went into just make a play for my team. We're kind of behind in the sticks a little bit, 2nd and 8. Not a worse position to be in, but not something where we want to be in. And then after that, just try to make a play. Broke the first tackle, then second tackle, then kind of slipped. So I was like, don't slip, got to make a touchdown right here. But it was just a credit to the O-line and then the receivers blocking downfield. So it's not just what I was able to do, but the guys helping my job, making it very easy.
So the text or phone call after the game that made you smile or stood out the most?
It was so many. I just can't point one
Okay.
out. But, just seeing my family after that, just how proud they were. And then seeing my nephew after, he's 2 years old, finna turn 3. So actually having him at the game made me excited because I can know he's going to be here one day. So having seen him after the game just made my day.
As long as we make him a legacy of sorts,
Yeah.
he comes here. We'll support that. I guess that would be he'd be getting letters here in about 13 years or so.
Somewhere close to there, but he's going to be here for sure.
Yeah. From a personal standpoint, what's this changeover meant? Coming from Coach Bloomgren, who he and the staff recruited you here, and we have had you on in these types of settings in the past, but now, one, getting used to a new coaching staff in the offseason, but now that most of the regular season is behind you, take us through all that from a player's perspective and yours specifically.
Yeah. Especially when you go through change is difficult. Not a lot of people want to go through change, but sometimes change is needed. And when Coach Abell came in here, he scheduled a meeting with everybody here and let everybody know that you're wanted to be here. You're a Rice Owl, and we want you. And I had a great meeting with Coach Abell, and he believed in me. He didn't really care about my size. He thought I was a great player, and him believing in me is just what gave me confidence. I had no plan on leaving anyways, but I loved Rice, and Coach Abell made me love Rice even more than what I did. So I'm grateful for Coach Abell. He's believed in me every step of the way, and I'm glad he's here because he's not believing in me, but he's believing in my teammates. When somebody believes in you, just go out there and you want to win, and you have confidence in yourself that not a lot of other people on the outside see. So I'm grateful for Coach Abell, and I know the Rice University is too.
Yes, for sure. What was the key bouncing back from the locker room perspective after UTSA, which was no doubt a tough one, which you didn't play most of just as a precautionary reason. You get the off week, but what was the key bouncing back and kind of everybody picking yourself back up?
We going into UTSA, we played 7 weeks straight, and when coaches put it in perspective, we've been going since August 1st. We kind of needed a reset and a rest and get healthy, and the bye week came at a perfect time, getting our guys back, getting healthy at online, defensive-wise. And, what we went back to is just back to the basics, what got us here and working on the fundamentals. And after that, just having fun, going out there having fun, kind of putting too much pressures on ourselves the past few weeks. We got to do this, we have to do this, looking into the future, but now we're just focused on where our feet are now. And that's going to start with practice today. No, it's going to start with meetings, actually. It's going to start with meetings, actually. How can we get better? We already dissected the film last night from the game, so we moved on, and now we're going to go on Memphis, a great Memphis team coming off a great victory. So, we got our hands cut out for us, but, it's going to be a great game come Friday night.
Yeah, more on the Tigers coming up in a little bit. That's a big challenge. Let's rewind to your path to Rice, for refresh folks. Coming from North Crowley, high school quarterback, was it Rice? Like, what pushed it over the goal line, to use the metaphor, to come be an Owl all those years ago?
Not a lot of people know, but it was baseball recruitment as well as football recruitment. So
That's right.
I was kind of going back and forth of whether do I want to play football in college or baseball in college. So I got the Rice offer kind of midway through my senior year in high school. I had a lot of offers not a lot of offers, but offers from military schools, and then other schools kind of pulled their offer because they didn't know what I was going to do. So I was kind of in a win mind, kind of didn't know what the future held for me. Then that's when I got a call from the previous staff with Coach Bloom, and he told me they love my film and they're really, really excited to have me, And after that, I just felt the love from the coaching staff, and then the environment here in the locker room. I felt like they wanted me here. So, you can't go wrong with picking a high academic school. That was just a plus too. So I'm just grateful and blessed to be here.
Now, I've known Coach Pierce, our baseball coach, about 17, 18 years. You need me to put a good word in for you? You want to get some reps on the diamond? But I guess Coach Abell, he wouldn't like that too much, would he?
I think I've been out of the game for a good 3 to 4 years, so I don't know if I can get back into it.
Can't hit that curveball.
I can't hit that. I can go out there and play some defense, but getting back and hitting is going to take me maybe a couple months. But,
That 85-mile-an-hour slider works different at the D1 level,
for
doesn't
sure.
it?
So that's something we'll see. But my heart is at where football is right now.
So everything being equal, are you the best baseball player on the team, or let's say offensively versus defensively? Because Ty Morris, I've talked with him in the past in other interviews. He has his jersey retired.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, up in Duquesne. So, who's the best baseball player on the team? Am I missing any others? Or
I think we have a lot of great baseball players on that
Really?
team. That's what makes us unique. But somebody else, Ty Thames was throwing 94, 95. That's crazy. But I can't point out one person, but we have a group of guys, Ty, Cooper King, both Tys actually, Ty Thames and Ty Morris. So we have a lot of guys that can play out there on that diamond.
under a head coach that played baseball professionally. So that's all meant to be, right?
Yep.
Yeah, good. When it's all the football's over, what would Quinton Jackson like to do? Hopefully you're playing the game for a while, but what are you studying and setting up for life after football?
Yeah, so I'm studying business management, graduating in the spring. I had a lot of thought and prayer about it. I thought about coaching. I love being, whether that's coaching baseball or coaching basketball or coaching football. I love coaching, and I had a lot of coaches impact my life. And seeing those coaches impact other kids' life, I want to do the same thing and help out in any kind of way. So I think I'm leaning towards coaching. I know Michael was on here last week, and he talked about coaching too, and it's just something about it, like just helping kids, find their purpose in life. And I just think I'm leaning towards that field.
Hugh Jack just sucking up to us now. He's even watching and listening to old episodes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who were a first couple coaches that ingrained that in you? Who were those? You mentioned a few, but who were the early influences for you?
I would say my high school offensive coordinator, Coach Orr. He's the head coach now at Mesquite Poteet. He really made a big impact on me. He really got belief in me, really believed in me, instilled confidence in me, and told me every day, you're going to be somebody, and I just want to relay that message to the other kids. Anybody out there that needs to build their confidence in themselves. And I'm very grateful for Coach Orr. He made me into the football player I am today, and we still keep up. I just texted him yesterday actually, so we still keep up. So I would say definitely Coach Orr.
And Quinton went to North Crowley. Was it 22 or 23? Y'all had the title.
Just the state title.
Yeah, really recently had
last
a
year.
last year.
2024, 2025 season. So,
okay.
Yep.
So you have any bragging rights over guys? You have any smack talk, DFW? Hey, my alma mater got a state title. Any friendly banter that way or not? I'm surely a guy like you would never do that. Would you?
It's so funny. Micah Barnett and Davion Hook is my roommate. So they can create teams on NCAA, the college football game. So they have our high schools created in the game.
No way.
So we actually have a little tournament, and we go back and forth, and we always argue man, y'all can't do this. My school did this, and we're always standing standings of what our school is. So I wouldn't say I brag about it a lot. I'm proud of that team because as soon as they came in, we knew they were going to be something special. That class that just won it in, but it's a little friendly competition about what our high schools got going on. But just friendly competition.
Yeah, we know Coach Abell's big on all the competition. Talk about Memphis coming in here. What's the locker room or your personal feeling hosting a nationally ranked team? You have to put UConn behind you, which I'm sure you've already done, but then you got a marquee opponent coming in here.
Yeah, we played Memphis last year. We played a great game against them, just came up short. But Memphis is a great team. They're ranked for a reason. They always been the top of the American. So we gotta play our A game this week. No mental mistakes. Just go out there and play our brand of football, and that's just 4 yards a carry, 4 yards, and then 4 downs and 4 quarters. That's what we say on offense. The rule of 4, what we call it. So we gotta match their energy, match their intensity. Their defense is gonna fly around. They're very physical. They got athletes all around the board. So Memphis is a great opponent, and Friday night will be a good game. So we just have to be on our A game.
And finally, we'll end it light here. You are going to be dressed as a football player for Halloween this year, but little Quinton Jackson, when he was knee-high to a grasshopper growing up, what was your go-to costume, or do you have a memorable Halloween costume growing up?
I would say my favorite would probably be Optimus Prime. I'm a big Transformers guy, big Transformers movie guy, so I would definitely say I think I was around 5 or 6. Had an Optimus Prime costume, so that was probably the most memorable I had.
And you're probably not at the age where it's cool to go back and dress up again.
Yeah, Probably
this
not.
was-
Yeah.
it's like
Eventually, when I have kids down the line,
Yeah.
I'll throw some on, but not right.
you get
now.
old fogey like
Yeah.
us over here, you'll do that again. Favorite Halloween candy? I know we are next to Coach Lou's office. I don't see him listening right now. Strength and conditioning coach. So do you have a candy you go to?
Mike and Ike.
Really?
I have to have Mike and Ike pregame or something before the game. I'm a big Mike and Ike guy.
Okay. Who is the team comedian? Who is the funniest guy or two on the team?
I always have an answer for that, and then when I get put on the spot, I always go blank. Funniest guy on the team.
It must mean there's a series of funny guys.
It's a whole. If you're in that back corner of the locker room, you're a pretty funny guy. I think everybody in the locker room is a funny guy, but in that back corner, I would say Chase Jenkins. Chase Jenkins
Really?
is a funny guy. He might not be show a comedian, but he's a pretty funny guy. So
It's
I'm gonna
that dry
have to say
wit I
Chase.
could see from Chase, right?
I'm gonna have to say Chase on that one.
Yeah. Another, you mentioned pregame. What's something else you do every pregame, home or away? What's a ritual, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. Usually, I kind of stay to myself for the most part, quiet, try to go lock in, pray first and foremost. I always pray, and then might be crazy, listen to R&B music, something to calm my nerves so I don't get too antsy before the game. Come in the weight room and go stretch, and then, other than that, just get ready for the football game. But I need some R&B music to, calm my nerves and make sure I'm ready for the game.
Hey, thanks for the time. It's so cool seeing where you were, what you've done, and what you continue to do. And I love kind of being along, witnessing this journey. So keep it up, and Rice Fight, okay?
Yes, sir. Rice Fight never dies. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Quinton Jackson of our Rice Owls. Stay tuned. More the Rice Unfiltered podcast. His OC, Vince Munch, will come back next. This is Rice Unfiltered. What a fun episode it has been. Appreciate Quinton Jackson and, of course, Dunlevie Family Head football coach Scott Abell. Right now, Scout's honor. I was never an Eagle Scout, but I was a Cub Scout, Boy Scout. Making that promise that a couple weeks ago we were saying, hey, let's get Coach Munch on, and felt this was as good a time as any with that good offensive explosion. Obviously, the big double OT win against UConn. I asked both Coach and Q-Jack this question in a way. First off, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Got me so
all
excited.
Good, all good.
Dove right in there. How long does it take to come down after a win like that? And that feeling has to be really special. You might not want it to go, but I know you have to move on eventually. But how long does it take that buzz to wear off?
We're probably still feeling it a little bit, but it certainly speeds up, especially on a short week, playing on Friday night and having to get right back into it. This being Monday, it's really a Monday and a Tuesday all rolled into one, so you can't live on it for too long. But it was certainly a blast to get back on track Saturday, especially in the fashion that we did.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, you had the wild offensive sequence towards the end of the first half that picked up the pace of the game, but just on a whole, the offense really bounced back. What do the guys do so well after the bye week that really led to that?
Yeah, I think some of that is just having another week of getting healthy and another week of comfortability in the system, and having some guys back that were at full strength certainly helped us. But we just executed at the highest level that we have all year on Saturday. It was our most complete game, inside, outside, throwing the ball. So just a credit to our guys of just continuing to trust the process and showing up every day to get better, and it showed up for us on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure you watch all the film in the off season, but the live reps, that has to be a whole other lesson where you learn so much about these guys. Speak to Quinton Jackson and what he continues to do, because we've been here a few years. He's taken it to that extra level.
Yeah, he is a different human being. I mean, just that you couldn't ask for a better kid to be a captain, right? Mm-hmm. And then he plays with a tenacity that, you see him walk in here and then you see him play, and it's like two totally different guys, right? So he's continuing to come in his own and his role, both as a ball carrier and a leader for our team, and just excited for him that he had that opportunity to have a record-setting day for him.
Yeah, and I gave Coach this note that Chuck gave us. Q-Jack, the 11th player since 1996 to have a 70-yard catch and a 70-yard run
Yeah.
in one day. What does that versatility, I don't want you to give anything away, but how comforting is it, I guess, the way to ask it,
Yeah.
that opens up so much of your offense?
Yeah, it's very, he's a guy that we can do a lot with, and we're never worried about what can he do? Can he do this? Can he do that? He can do it all, right? So that allows us to be as creative as we want to be.
Mm-hmm. Where have you seen Chase Jenkins grow the most? Because he has really improved here these last few weeks, and especially after the bye, too.
Oh, gosh, just coming into his own as a quarterback, right? Decision-making and leadership each week, and I've said this before, each week he just continues to grow snap to snap, and we're benefiting for it, too. He's just becoming more comfortable as a quarterback and certainly becoming more comfortable in the system and, doing a great job week to week.
Speaking of that system, it's always tough in a first year when a first-year coaching staff comes, for the most part, getting used to the new wrinkles. You're starting to see that things are clicking on the system the more the way you like it. I know expectations are always troublesome.
Yeah,
but
expectations as a coach are always high, right? They're always high. It's hard to meet any coach's expectation,
of course,
right? Whether it's a live rep or a practice rep, right? But, it was a whole new way of thinking for the offense, right? From their previous, system that they were in. It's a whole new verbiage, whole new language, and a whole new way of thinking. So they had to overcome that hump. Then they had to overcome the hump of the timing of everything and the pace that we want to play at, things like that. So it's a work in progress, and to their credit, they show up every single day, eager to learn, and putting their best foot forward every single day.
So for those that don't know, Coach Munch came with Coach Abell. All 7 years they were together at Davidson. Coach Munch, an assistant. When did you first meet Coach Abell?
Coach Abell hired me on his staff at Washington and Lee in 2012. So spring ball 2012, joined his staff as the tight ends and receivers coach. That was my second job out of college. So you know how it goes in the profession. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
And that's how I got on. Had a great time at Washington and Lee on his staff, and had to leave him for about 360 days, one football season, not even a full year, and then I joined him again at Davidson as the offensive line coach. Yep.
And was it slam dunk? Sorry to use a crossover sports pun there, analogy, but was it an easy decision to come to Rice and follow him from Davidson?
Yeah. I just, the way he runs the program is something that I believe in, and it's a blast to work for him. So it was a pretty easy decision. Yeah.
He talked glowingly about you as a coach and a human, all that good stuff. But where I want to drill down is he also talked about you being close to as competitive about him. And I asked him this question. And so he said, no, you asked Coach Munch this. And he talked about being a good racquetball challenger. Have you beat him in racquetball? Or do you defer to the boss man?
No, I haven't beaten him. I've won a game or two, but not a match. I've won a game or two, but I can give him a good game. I can give him a good game. His hand-eye coordination is pretty elite. So,
okay.
But I give him a good game. I'm definitely number 2 on staff in racquetball. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
I'll have to look at those ranking systems. What other sport did you? Forgive me for not knowing this off the top of my brain, but what other sports did you play growing up?
I played football, baseball, basketball like normal kids do in middle school, high school. My dad was a high school football coach, so football was always the passion. My best sport's probably golf.
Okay.
if I could be honest, but yeah, I mean, my dad was a high school coach. My brother was in athletics, so we were always throwing a ball, kicking a ball, shooting a ball. Always been around sports.
Yeah. Did you always know you'd want to get into coaching?
Yeah. There was no other path. Yep.
Yeah. What would you do if you couldn't coach, or what is another interest outside of coaching?
Golly.
If that's even an answerable question.
I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know what I would do that I would have any passion for or enjoy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
What have you learned about Rice that maybe you didn't know before coming here? You knew a lot, obviously, researching and Rice just being Rice on the national stage, but have you learned anything differently about the campus or the department?
answer for that one.
Yeah, tough one, isn't it?
I don't have a good answer for that. I would say this, everything about Rice and everything about Houston has exceeded all of my expectations.
Yeah, that's a great answer because you come here, you don't know so much.
Right.
And then coming here, it's like you got to live it out.
You kind of know, all right, it's a high academic school, blah, blah, blah in Houston, and then you get here and you see the gym that it is. So there's probably a lot, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But everything since day one of getting here and whatever day that was in December until now has exceeded expectations, including the city of Houston. So. And
there are the parallels, like Coach has mentioned in the past, and it's probably his opening press conference, high academic D3, high academic FCS. This has been done in different phases. So it's never easy, but how much of a smoother transition was that the blueprint's been done before? I know you can speak more to Davidson and what.
Yeah. I think we're just trying to implement the same blueprint. Coach Abell has a plan that seems to work at these type of institutions. So we're just implementing that, following the game plan, and got faith that over the process of that things are going to get in the direction that we want to get them.
Since you're also the offensive line coach, I wanted to ask you about the big fellas. How big was it to get David Stickle back? And Bledsoe did a good job in his place, but just getting Stickle back, and he told me for context before going in there, hey, I can't wait to see the difference I can make. But he seemed to make a big impact.
Yeah, it was great to have a guy that's played a lot of football back into the fold when we were down some guys that had also played a lot of football. So it was great to have Stick back in there. Nate stepped in for those 3-4 games and did an unbelievable job. But yeah, it was good to have a older guy step back in there as we take on UConn, who's a good football team, 4-2 team coming in here. So it was good to have him back. Did a great job first game back. So hopefully he's got his feet underneath him now and can really kind of step on the gas.
Yeah. I asked Coach big picture about Memphis as the offense. Now, you looking at Memphis's defense, what's a big thing that just big picture stands out about their D?
Yeah, I mean they're a seasoned group that is physical and runs around, that plays good defense week in and week out. So it'll be a big challenge for us.
Hey, thanks for the time. Probably not much time for racquetball golf during the season, but get Coach. Don't let Coach is talking all this junk here. We got to even the playing field. Don't take it easy on him just because he's the boss man, or maybe you should.
Trust me, I don't take it easy on him. I'm trying to
I put it that way.
I'm trying to wear him out in there, but it usually ends up the other way. He wears me out. So
he gets after it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good athlete. I
challenged, because basketball was my sport, barely, and I told him in the off season, Coach, I'm going to get you. We're going to play some horse or something. And I think I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
With the tutor, we'll make it a halftime thing.
Yeah,
so
he won't disappoint. He's pretty good at everything.
Okay, so that's my scouting report.
He can shoot it.
Be competitive. Okay. Yeah. Hey, thanks. It's been great getting to know you. Yeah. Thanks for the help off the mic and camera, and keep it up. We're excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, me as well. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it. That wraps up another edition of the Rice Unfiltered podcast. Remember, Rice and Memphis, national TV behind us. We want you out there, though, 713-348-OWLS, riceowls.com. Come on out. Wear your Halloween costume. I'm yet to reveal what I'm going to be. Walter, you dressing up? No? Walter says no. He's had enough of that. But we want you out there. Come out. And thanks for listening. Share this episode. Like us on Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. Thanks to Vince Munch. Thanks to Quinton Jackson. And thanks to Dunlevie Family Head Football Coach Scott Abell. And thanks so much to Kelly, Nick, and Walter behind the scenes. Have a great rest of this day or night. God bless. Go Owls. Rice fight. Thanks for listening to the Rice Unfiltered podcast.